Sorry, I'm a bit under the weather, by the way.
Are you sick?
Yeah, I'm starting. It's the sore throat and all that shit.
That time of the year, people get sick.
I don't go outside, so it shouldn't affect me.
I don't think going outside, staying indoors helps. Like, I know people who stay indoors and they just get it. It's just in the air, whatever have you. And plus, even if it's not just in the air, your missus goes out and she comes home. So even sometimes someone can pick up pathogens, and they themselves may not get sick, but because of the fact that it's on their clothes or whatever have you, like you could get it essentially. I think that's how. Yep. I think that's kind of how that thing works. But yeah, we're good to go. Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the Innocent Podcast, the continuation of Classroom of the Elites. This is after completing the entirety of the anime, so it is done. And those of you who are in the stream, please feel free to like it, because that helps more people find it. So make sure to give a like to it, and feel free to share it as well. That helps us a lot.
And all that good jazz.
Yes, all that good jazz indeed. So, what is it? Oh, actually, I thought my phone was vibrating. I think it's a plane outside. I was like, what is that sound? Like, who's calling me now? Right, so I finished it. You finished season 1, yes? What have you been watching all week? Like, have you, like, since you finished season 1, obviously, did you watch season 2, or did you just decide you're gonna watch something else?
No, actually, I did not start season 2. I ended up starting. Well, I wouldn't say starting. What I'm currently watching is actually House of the Dragons. I don't know why it's named that. It should be like House of Dragon or House of Dragons or House of the Dragon. But House of the Dragons feels kind of like incorrect English. I could be wrong here, but whatever. So that's what I've been watching with the missus. We love Game of Thrones, and actually when I first started watching Game of Thrones is when I started dating my missus. So like season 1. And
wow.
Yeah, actually I think we did it before, but like that was our thing. Like we started watching that together, and I had to beg her to watch it, but she ended up liking it, and that's our thing, like our thing.
Okay, welcome by the way everyone who's in here so far. Welcome to the podcast. So you haven't seen season 2, which is good, because I haven't seen season 2 as well. I've literally, I kid you not, to all of you here and all of you listening in the future, I literally just finished watching season 1, sorry, just as, like, literally ended the episode and hit go live. Like, that's the exact order in which it happened. End episode 12, season 1 went live. And
Can confirm.
Can confirm. And this is the thing where so now I'm at the end of episode 1. We have differing opinions on the anime, if I'm correct. Yeah.
I would say I know what my opinion is, and I know how I feel about the main character. And gathering from what you said last episode, then I would say, yeah, I think that's actually why I was giggling a lot. So if you guys remember from 2 podcasts ago, if you guys watched that one, episode, what is it, episode 3 it would be now.
Why would it be 2 podcasts ago? Because we covered the episode part 1 of this. Oh no, actually, we were talking about something else, and then it came up. Okay,
and then it came up, and then I started giggling about it and acting like a little girl who knew what penis was or something, you know. But anyways, so sorry, I'm very so what ended up happening is I was just thinking, like, I wonder how Q will like this. It was like, for me, what the anime itself is not what's interesting, right? Sadly, it's the fact that I hope that you'd like it enough. So when we do talk about it, we're gonna have a little bit of banter and a little bit of a little bit of drive, a little bit of power, a little bit of I forgot how the meme goes, but yeah, you guys know the meme.
Have some banter, and and again, welcome to everyone who's coming in right now. Richard, Nalu, Miss AR, welcome to the live chat. Feel free to again give us a like on the podcast, as well as feel free to share it as well, because that does help more people find the podcast and boost all of this. So yeah, we do disagree on the anime. At least I think we do, because I wholeheartedly like it still. Like, my opinion on the main character has not changed at all in the slightest. And
Okay.
I kind of expect, like, the way in which he was portrayed from the first episode, I kind of expected it. And I say this as the kind of person, like, I've seen other anime like this. So this is not the first anime of its type that I guess this type of anime, the way in which the storytelling is told and everything, that this is not the first time I've seen a character like him. Yeah. So for me, it wasn't like, oh, big surprise. It was more like, okay, I do like this. An intelligent character who has, everyone this came up in the last episode. Everyone in the show has a hidden side, essentially, of themselves, and for the most part, his hidden side was always there to be seen. It just kind of was. He just
wait, elaborate that for me, because maybe I don't understand. Maybe some of our guests might understand. You mean that his flaws and his hidden side, kind of like you've always seen them to the point where it's like, he is perfect, but his whole motive is to not stand out. Is that what you mean by his hidden side?
That's not what I mean, but
okay, elaborate then for me.
But I guess we should start before we continue to just basically state that there are going to be spoilers in this. Spoiler warning now. You've been warned. If you have not seen Classroom of the Elite season 1, then you will be spoiled. We've not seen both of us. We haven't seen season 2 yet, and so the spoilers won't go past season 1 for now. But essentially, if you've not seen season 1, now is the time to root back and all that kind of stuff with that. If you have seen season 1 and you enjoyed it and you want to hear what we have to say, again, please make sure to hit that like button and feel free to join the conversation. We will have I guess a couple question polls going up at some point or the other based on some of the questions you guys ask, or that you guys put in there, and I guess some of the opinions that we have on the show as well. That being said, what I was referring to with regards to his his hidden side is the fact that he essentially doesn't give a shit about anyone else except for his own personal goals. So in the series, he comes across at the beginning as just a guy who just wants to lay low, and he's intelligent but just wants to play low effort. From the beginning, I figured, no, he wants to win. He's just playing the long game, essentially. It's like, for him, he's playing the long game because he essentially has a plan of how he's going to get to there, and he's just working his plan in his own way, essentially. And the good thing about a character like that is that you kind of get to, in a sense, it's kind of like this series I was watching over the weekend called Is It Cake? And essentially in that series, you sort of guess if an item or something is cake. The thing about watching a character like him is kind of like that. You kind of get to guess, okay, what's he gonna do now? So like in the last episode, at least for me, that's how I watch characters like this. In the last episode where he, in episode 12 for season 1, where he basically switches with what's her face, with Suzune.
So Suzune, yeah.
The minute she got sick and that we found out she was sick and he took her to the boat, I was like, he's gonna switch with her. Like, there's no I was like, he's gonna switch. Like, I was like, there's no way he doesn't switch with her, because if he doesn't, they lose. And
you know what's funny?
Yeah,
re-watching it, I was like, how did I not see this happening? But watching it the first time, which I feel like I need to rewatch some shows, but I don't know, maybe like a first impression is better than a first impression, then rewatch the first impression, because then I could develop more thoughts. I'm not too sure how I want to handle anime in the future. Maybe we should just give each anime a double run through, like either way, continue.
But I think it does come from the types of anime you watch, and how much anime you watch as well. Because, like, for example, how, like, for example, we've spoken before about anime like Naruto and stuff like that, shonen anime, it's very easy to read what's going to happen because we've seen a shit ton of shonen. So if you introduce someone to a shonen anime series, they can just see, okay, the main character is going to be flamboyant, they're going to always want to win, and all these sort of things.
They're always going to believe it.
They're always going to believe it, correct. Right. So, but something like this is again, I've seen quite a few of these, so it's like I kind of I kind of feel like I know where the characters are going to go. And I mean, I'm not saying I get everything right, obviously not. Which is why I enjoy these types of this particular type of anime. But when I do get something right, I'm like, yeah, okay, I saw that coming. That's nice. It makes you feel good at the end of the day. So I did see that.
Though that for me personally, I don't think I agree with you on that point. That if you've seen certain, if you've seen the One Pieces and the Bleaches and the and the Narutos, and you've seen something like it is a really hit or miss, and you develop a certain kind of like, for example, and I'm gonna compare it to like, let's say like if you're gonna watch a movie like James Bond or Transformers or Fast and Furious, compared to maybe something more where you have to sit down and think. I can't really give them an example of that, but some people just really love James Bond, and for some other people, it's like he's gonna, he's a spy, he's gonna kill some people, he's gonna shoot some people, he's gonna, he's allowed to shoot people, and then he's gonna bang some girl in a club somewhere, or and there's gonna be some sexy scene where he takes off his shirts and then he drives a sexy car and and then he's like, sorry babe, and then he leaves the girl then, and it's like, or whatever, and it's like, like for example, my dad, he loves that, and I think an anime like Naruto, like if you don't like that kind of anime, like you might think every anime is like that, or if you watch a slice of life, you might just, you know what I mean? And this show, like at least for me as a person looking at this kind of show, I like, I'm not like I only like one type of anime. I kind of find it hard to get into like, like Gundam, for example. Let's say, because it's, for some reason, mecha anime is really hard. Even though I think Code Geass is like the perfect, one of the like best anime I've seen, and I know plenty of people rate it highly. And I'm not hyping it myself, but just like it is, as an example, Code Geass is pretty good, even though there is like, it's about mechas and stuff. Even though the main plot isn't about mechas, it is a mecha quote unquote anime. I don't know if maybe that should be the question of the day. Is Code Geass a mecha anime?
Code Geass is a mecha anime. There's no question about it. It is. It is. It's 100% mecha.
Anyways, dialing back on what you were saying. For me personally, I'm always like looking at different anime, and I always like, for example, sometimes I agree with you, like the slice of life. Most people really don't like slice of like, oh, it's another slice of life, and I'm like, I can see the same thing about like shonen. It's another shonen, but some like the type of anime that High School of the Elites is like the setting, not really like the overall theme, but I guess the overall theme, not the setting of it, it's specifically itself. As in, I like where you have to kind of think and stuff, but me as a person, I need to rewatch certain things. Like if I really appreciate, I don't rewatch a lot of shows, but when I rewatch them, I appreciate it more. Like a lot of like horror movies, a lot of like movies where I have to think more. I really like appreciate rewatching them. But yeah.
I think for me it depends on the anime. Like some anime I can rewatch and I can feel confident in essentially that it's worthy of a rewatch. Essentially, it's the same for movies as well. There's certain movies I can rewatch, and some movies I just would never waste my time. And I think something like this is definitely the type of anime you should probably rewatch, because there are going to be stuff that you'd miss the first time around. But yeah, it does have that very similar sort of feel to something like Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, or What's His Face Dreams of Bunny Girl Senpai. Those sort of anime where there's a lot of sort of introspective, kind of like sort of like peak top brain thinking characters who are essentially just all sort of like working through strategy and philosophy and all these sort of things in their whole character, and they're just interesting. And I guess for some people it's boring because of how the characters come off in a sort of like sort of,
I would say he's necessary. Like for me, he's not necessarily boring. And the only anime I can really compare, like I don't have any anime at the top of my head that I can like a specific character on anime that I can compare. The only person I can compare him to is Light. At least at the top of my head, maybe, and Saitama in terms of like One Punch Man Saitama in terms of that he's just all powerful. And obviously Saitama and Death Note, they're really different to this anime, and like none of them are even kind of really comparable in reality, but something that they have in common is like the main character is very overpowered from the get-go. and like you said, you watch the anime, and the first few seconds even of the anime, you already know like, oh, what kind of character he kind of is. You know, like you're knowing if you've seen something like this before, like the anime you've mentioned that I haven't seen. I don't even know how to re-say that, but the Bunny Girl Senpai is what I remember, for example. If the character's like that, or sorry, like our main character in Classroom of the Elites, for me, I like anime where they're busted, but one good example, and I haven't seen all of it currently, is Eins from what's that anime called? The one with the skull.
Is it Overlord?
Overlord, yeah. I've only seen a few episodes of Overlord, and I already I don't want to really talk too much about it, but Eins has that kind of feeling, you know. He is really busted, and he's done really well as a busted character.
I don't think it. I like, even though Overlord is, yes, it does have a sort of a big brain character kind of thing. I would more compare Overlord to something like No Game No Life. Like, it's an intelligent. It's got like strategy and all that kind of stuff. But I think, and like, this is similar, but there's a huge difference between the way the characters are written, essentially.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So there's a sort of dry sort of like, because I think with Overlord, even though the main character is depicted as this skull guy, he's very, it's very bright in the way in which it's depicted. Like this, and for example, like a Bunny Girl Senpai and Haruhi Suzumiya, it gets pretty dark to a certain extent. Like it's very I guess melancholic in a sense, so like dreary, depressing kind of vibe to a certain extent, if so much, in the way in which the main character or the main characters carry about themselves. So for example, in this one, it's Suzune and Anya Koji. I don't know, how do you say his name again? Ayano Koji, right? So Ayano Koji. So essentially, they are the dry kind of characters. They just, the way they talk, it's like, so like, are you going to, do this thing? And then the other one's like, no, I think I will not. And that kind of way in which they speak to each other. You find those kind of characters a lot in, I guess, this particular type of anime. And I like it. I do actually really like this anime, and I do like Ayano Koji because he's an interesting character, and I do like interesting characters. I like a character that I can sort of like sit there, listen to, watch, and sort of get intrigued by whatever they're cooking up, essentially, and try to guess what they're cooking up as well. Like, try to figure out what they're doing before the show actually puts it. Before it shows it on the screen. So, a full episode of it, a full season, and I do have different favorite characters to a certain extent. I still like Shuzune. I still think she is best girl so far. And the reason why I would say I still like Shuzune is because of the fact that Ichinose, we don't know anything about her yet. Like, she's season one. In season one, nothing is revealed about her. All we know is that she and Anya Koji get on well, but we know nothing about her. I think with Shizune, I think because of the fact of what we already know about her as a character, her flaws and what she's struggling with and all that kind of stuff, I still like her as a character, And the thing with Anya Koji is that I like him as a character as well because of what we know about him. I like the fact that he's, he's so, and like, he's so diabolical in a sense. So we're like, the whole thing about, I never trusted anyone of you. I never saw any of you as my friends. Like, you guys are all pawns. And that whole thing with the teacher, like when she said someone called the school, I was like, it's his dad. Like, that was like, instantly I was like, it's gotta be his dad. And like, when she came on and said it, I was like, okay, confirmed. So all in all, I found it intriguing. I found it intriguing. There was some points where I was a bit confused about certain things. Like, for example, that sort of strong boy, the blonde, QNG or whatever his name is. I didn't understand the scene where he went back to the boat in the final few episodes. That made no sense to me.
it had no relevant plot from what I understand.
Yeah, so me it's just I just found him annoying at that point in time because I was like, okay, maybe he's gone back to the boat for a reason, but then by the end of the episode, it showed that he literally was just that selfish piece of shit, and I was like, well, that's kind of dumb, and he annoyed me to that extent. I guess in the last episode, I didn't like that it was so obvious that that girl was the one who was the spy. Like, I kind of wish it was someone else. Like, I was like,
yeah. You kind of wish that like one of their own class members betrayed them, and
I kind of wish it was like I would have been surprised by something. Like, I wasn't like when they revealed it was her. I was like, oh, okay.
like, ooh.
Okay, cool, fine. She's a spy. Great. But it did find a bit of a twist to it, which was nice. Like the fact that the fact that she was the panty thief and stuff like that. Okay, that was obvious as well. But
really, I actually did not see that coming at all. That went over. I was like, she might frame someone, but I didn't think it was. I wasn't like 100% sure it was her.
Mm-hmm. So, the minute they found her in the forest, I was like, spy. I was like, yeah. That was the first thing. I was like, she's got bruises on her face. She's trying to pretend like she doesn't want the help. And knowing the kind of characters that we have in Class D, I was like, there's no way they don't leave her alone. Now, in my case, and also like, I think what really sold it was when Anekoji sort of like reached out to her. Sorry, to pull back the guy who was with them. That also told me that, yeah, she is a spy, because you saw the tie on the top of the tree where she was, which was to mark a spot, so she could know to get back to there. And he saw it first. That was the first thing the camera sort of like swung to in that scene. It was like, there's the tie, there's her, and then he grabs the other guy. But then he also, I guess in that moment, he sort of thought about like, okay, like, let's see how this plays out. I could probably use this to my advantage, is essentially probably where his sort of mindset went to. Because other than that,
it was like a white tie in the tree.
Yes, it was a white tie in the tree.
Oh, I didn't notice that. I probably saw it and then didn't think too much of it. But yeah, all right. Props to you, Q. Props to you. I have to give credit where credit's due.
I will admit I do play a crap ton of puzzle games. So I'm always like looking for little details and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm sure there are a lot of stuff I missed though, and I would like to think some of the listeners would probably point out some of the things that I may have missed in the episodes and stuff like that. Like, I'm not the biggest big brain when it comes to stuff like that. Like, I get some things, the things that I guess are so noticeable that almost anyone would get, or most people who watch these types of series at least would figure out. But then there's some stuff that went over my head I just didn't see coming. Like, for example, one thing I didn't see coming was that Anekoji was involved in the whole pantsu thing. Like, when you mean like, you mean the part where he burns the tents down, or do you mean the part where he takes the pantsu from the other dude? He didn't burn the tent down. I'm talking about all the way back to when they went to the pool. So the whole pool, because the person who burned the tent, who started the fire in their tent around their base, wasn't him. It was the girl, the spy.
It was her?
It was her.
It was, no, it was him. He was like, he started the fire because he knew that would be enough time for her to go and steal the card.
No, that wasn't it. He let.
Sure?
Yeah, he's basically stated like the whole situation when the girl got injured. Sorry, when she got dirty, right? That's when he knew that she would be able to go and have the shower so the girl could steal the card, because the card was already stolen by the time the fire started. So when the fire started, the card was already stolen, and she started the fire so she could basically see, I think it was to see the reaction or something of the girl or something. I think that's what she said. There was some reason that she started the fire, if I remember correctly, from what
I would like to recheck this with you after.
We can reconfirm if someone's who's listening to the podcast now. Feel free to like reconfirm that, because I just saw the episode, but I'm thinking like I'm forgetting. Maybe I've forgotten the point. But from what I remember, she was the one who started the fire, and he was going.
He also destroyed her camera just to make it harder.
He did destroy the camera, but that wasn't to make it hard on her. That was literally specifically to allow her to steal the card. That she would have to steal the card.
No, he did say, at least Yeah, he did say to make it harder because just taking a photo of it is one thing, but physically having to retrieve the the card is going to be the next step that you would have to take.
The thing about the thing about her again, that's the thing. Like when it wasn't just about the difficulty of it all, in the sense that he could like allow her to like take the picture. Taking the picture would basically would not have been as how can I say, as effective as her stealing the card, because the idea was if she steals the card, she has that much more certainty of like, hey, I know who the leader is, I guess, essentially. So when he then switches over, no one would even doubt it. They'll be like, oh, we have the card, Right. I think that's kind of probably how he sort of like made sense of it all. But what I was saying about with regards to the whole pantsuit thing, I'm talking about when the guys from their class wanted to sort of like get the cameras and see the girls naked.
Oh,
yeah.
You mean all the way back then?
They changed. I didn't expect that. And that's why I'm giving an example of like one of the things I didn't see coming. So I didn't expect that when they started to like signal for like the someone else involved. I was like, who the frack are they gonna signal? Like all the other guys are all caught up in something else. And then you could see him sort of like reading it out. I was like, at first I'm thinking like, okay, he can just read Morse code or whatever have you. So he's just like figuring out what these guys are talking about. But then when he was actually involved in it, and it was like, okay, I was like, why is he involved? Like, how? Like, what?
But he does explain why, though.
Exactly. And so when it was explained, I was like, oh, okay, it makes sense now. Because at first I was like, in that moment. Mm-hmm.
So I was going to, would you him rather be not part of the plan and then like disrupt their plan? Like, would you think?
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying that what I rather and what I don't rather. I'm saying that's one of those moments where I did not see it coming. Right, so there are moments where I saw it coming, like for example, the phone call from his dad. I saw that and so forth. Him being involved in that thing, no matter the capacity he was involved, was a surprise to me. I was just shocked, and that was a moment where I was like, oh, okay, that is a surprise to me, sort of thing. So yeah, essentially that's essentially an anime Kuji. So we know him as a character. I like him. We know Shizune as a character. I like her. I think if there are any other characters I like, Kikyo, I kind of like Kikyo a bit more because of the fact that we know more about her.
Do you think she fancies Ayana Koji?
I think all the girls do to a certain extent because of his intelligence. I think there's a sort of like, he draws people towards him because of his like all the intelligent people are drawn to him easily. Like for example, like Suzune's brother instantly took to him because of the fact that he is like he could like they can tell
strong, he could fight.
It wasn't about the fighting, it was his intelligence. That was essentially, it was straight up the fact that he was intelligent, that they knew, they can see that he's not just, he doesn't belong in class D essentially. And I think
I could smell the freaking intelligence of him.
Exactly. In the same way that, for example, a lot of the other students from the other classes are trying to figure out who's the real big brain in class D, who's the one really pulling the strings. And some of them have figured out it's him. So some of them have obviously figured out like he's the one really pulling the strings, even though like the class is trying to put like he's trying to put Shizune as the front to sort of like protect himself in a sense, like to sort of throw them off his scent. But a lot of the most clever students in the school, they've figured out he's the smart one in the class. He's the one pulling the strings, essentially. And I do like that. For example, with Kikyo, I'm kind of thinking like you know, like she's, I know she likes him. Hands down, you can just see that she does actually fancy him. But then there's also, they haven't fully gone into her character and developed her yet because she still has that jealousy towards Shizune. And I think one of the things is that each of the characters sort of like what would be the sort of, what's the word I'm looking for, the theme of the series is that each character confronting their sort of like weakness essentially, and that's how they progress as a class. So for example, the guy who is all shouty and arrogant and sort of like, he's having to work on his sort of like, you know, controlling himself, his anger issues. With Sakura, she has to get over the whole being afraid of people and stuff like that. And, you know, but as they get revealed to him, you start seeing those characters coming around even more as they go on. And yeah, I am enjoying that sort of thing. I like the little sort of like friction he has with the teacher, where he's sort of like he's sort of like, going back and forth. I didn't enjoy when he grabbed her shirt though. Like I felt like that was just out of character for him. For me, it was like he's supposed to be smart enough, like not to get physical with anyone.
Physical, yeah.
It felt like he had lost his composure at that point in time. Because what I enjoy about his character is that he's very composed, no matter what the frack is going on.
Yeah.
So yeah. Any points you want to get at so far as we go through this series?
Yeah. Well, for me, Ayano Koji, talking about him. God, there's so many points. I kind of want to go back on the whole like how he's so busted kind of thing. In regards to like him just like I think it was funny, like the whole race or the whole what was it? He had to like throw something or do something, and he just kicked in the nos, like I don't know if you know what I mean by when I say nos, like the nitrous, like to get his car to go faster.
Yeah.
He kicked in the nitrous, and then people were like, oh, and then he was like the what was it, the grip thing where it's like, what's the average human grip, and it was like, oh, it's 150, and he did like 160, and then they were like, oh wait, no, it's actually 100, and it's like, damn, you have a strong grip. And he's like, oh shit, like everyone knows, like it kind of leaks out to other people that he's busted, but then he's just like, no.
Wait, this is season 1?
This is season 1, yeah.
When did they do the race? I don't remember this sports. That sounds like a sports day episode, yeah.
Oh,
with a race and a grip, and I don't remember that.
When he has to fill in the what you call it, like I think someone like in the class couldn't make the race. I think it was Suzune or something that couldn't make the race, and he had to like fill in. He was like, fine, I'll do it. And then they were like, okay, let's test to see if he can do all the things. And then the strong guy was like, oh buddy, you're actually really strong.
I don't remember that episode, unless of course if I was watching it and then I fell asleep or something and missed an episode. But that is weird. Have I missed an episode?
You probably did, then. Yeah.
This isn't season 1, yeah?
I have not seen a single. I don't know. I wouldn't lie to you, but yeah,
I'm not saying you'd lie. I'm saying like I'm just saying like,
yeah. It's
how did I miss an episode? Like, I have no recollection of any of this that you're talking about. Like you're mentioning these things, and I'm like, what is he talking about? Like, why do I not remember any of this? No.
Either way, it still goes to my point of Ayano Koji. You'll need to watch that episode then and catch back up.
But I need to figure out which episode that is though, because from what I remember, episode 1 is the entry to the school. Episode 2 is when they go to the pool and they're sort of like sitting around and talking and stuff like that. Wow.
I don't recall, but either way, back to Ayano Koji, where he's for me, he is just, if he was like just nerdy and then his flaw was that he wasn't strong, or but he is just too damn good at everything, man. He's he's like the Itachi of the freaking, he's like forget 5 steps ahead. He's like 20 something steps ahead. He's already predicted X, Y, and Z. And I love guessing stuff. I love as you've heard with me when we went over the Spy X Family and all the series. I love predicting and guessing what's gonna happen because my brain is like oogling and boogling inside my head and thinking, God, I really want to know and I really want to watch the show, but it's not even out yet. And goddamn, and I just need to know what's gonna happen, if they're gonna fight, if they're gonna this, if Ayano Koji is gonna be doing a lot of like, is he gonna like trip more? Is he just gonna be super perfect? Because for me, if he's too good, he's not interesting, but he is also interesting because he's too good. Does that make sense? They just need to know, what's the word I'm looking for? They need to know how to bring the irons or bring the lights to the too good parts. Because even though I can't really compare them, because in those anime they're like killing people and yada yada yada. In this anime, which is one kind of flaw that I didn't like about the anime, is that when I heard Classroom of the Elite, I also thought like, God, they're gonna be doing all kinds of like, and I mentioned this in the first podcast, like the previous episode, how in the class their biggest thing is they get kicked out of school, and it's like, okay, they'll just apply to another school when they leave, and then continue schooling, you know, like, okay, they don't get the, you know, like any of the dumbasses in class, if they drop out, I'm not going to be sad for them because they clearly shouldn't be there. And then people who are like panicking for the money episode, like we'll just talk about like that episode, for example. It's like, you dumbasses don't know that this is like common sense 101. Like, unless you were like brought up with like a lot of money and you just don't have respect for money, or you're literally just a dumbass and you just thought, oh, you know, buy me a PlayStation 5 with this money and give me like all the new games and buy junk food and eat out every day. And yeah, there money goes, you know. But I don't know, like for me, it's just like some things were obvious, but the point is that the biggest thing I don't like about the anime, well, the two biggest things is that the consequences don't feel consequential. And Ayano Koji, for me, if he had a secret, like, I hate people, kind of like everyone is like a stepping stone, I like that. I like that he's good at lots of things. I don't like how he projects himself to his classmates, where he's like, yeah. Like, does he not want to smack some cheeks? You know, does he not want? Like, he has no flavor. He's just rice. He's no salt in the rice. He's no vinegar. He's no, you know, whatever else you put in rice. He's none of that. He's just boring ass, plain old good ass rice that is perfect for like loads of meals, because that's what he is. He's just perfect as a human being, but then flaws because he's like cynical at the same time, or he has a god complex, you know, which I do like. I think that's actually like his selling points. But me, like the first few episodes, and this something that like my friend or guest that was supposed to come on, he kind of brought up. It's like, as soon as he watched anime, he was just like, it's just like, he's so unlikable. He just comes across like, yeah. So you know, I don't know. For me, it just rubs me the wrong way, and that has nothing to do with his intelligence, because I do find intelligent people very scary when they try to hit you with like big brain words and big brain shit. But he just comes across as like, well, I guess I'll have to do it. Like, to not stick out, I guess. No. That being said, I actually to kind of go on the whole, like, if I like the anime or not. Like, people are thinking, well, yeah, Rare, you really don't like this anime at all. I actually like the anime a lot. I just find it so hard, like, because when we started watching it, me and the boys from my Discord, when we started watching it, even my friend who was supposed to come tonight for the guest, they all said they couldn't, like, they watched the first 2 or 3 episodes and they just thought the anime was just getting worse and worse and worse. And then for me, the selling point kind of like came around like episode 5 or 6, you know, where like I could see why he's thinking, and then it hit me with the and then I'm like, I wonder if he's actually like super like mental, because that's actually something I thought about, like, where he's just he's holding back to climb, and it's like, maybe it's tactic. That was like maybe like something I would have thought about, like big brain tactic. But I was thinking, like, maybe he just has like how everyone is arrogant, but they show their arrogance, whilst he's arrogant because he actually is literally just better than them. He's just built stiff on every level. Like, he's strong. Like he was like, how strong I need to be for this to be average? Like you know what I mean? And he like went over the charts, and I was like, oops, you know, and it was like oops moments. And Suzune is like, she's so try hard, but she's also gullible. She's like more likable than him because she's really smart and intelligent. But she's just like soccer. Like, she just hits me with the. Like, she's just gonna be like. I mean, if there was a third male, like another character, I guess it doesn't even be a male or female. But if it was like another character, like her brother, let's say, like that'll be like Naruto. He'd be like Naruto, and that'd be like Sasuke, and then she'd be like the Sakura of the show, where she's just kind of like left to the side, kind of just, you know, like. Yeah, I got the reward for being the one that turned the classroom, because I got sick, and then I big brained, and then I made Ayano Koji the actual the leader of the you know, like the that test. And it's just like, and in the end, I don't feel really like invested, because the consequences is so average human. No, if I had to take away, like, so like, you know, let's say if they, because my brain was thinking classroom elite, they're gonna like die if they fail the class, or like they're gonna get humiliated or killed, or some, I don't even know, like they like death by snoo or whatever, you know. My brain was just thinking so much different things, you know, and I was just like, but I am sold on the show because I am starting to like it more. I do want to see if they can climb. I want to see how Ayano Koji, you know, makes the steps and steps on people, but then people don't realize it because right now they're just in love with him. And maybe in like season 2, they might be like, oh god, yeah, he's actually not that nice, or yeah, it might go on for like a whole other season or 2 or whatever. Like that season, like that season doesn't even exist yet, right? But overall, I do like the slice of life part of it. So as much as I don't like that it's not them dying if they fail the school, you know, which is very extreme. I do like that it's still like they're still average humans, you know, but they're slightly above average in intelligence and whatever they're good at, right? But I gotta quote, he is just like he is like a Super Saiyan fighting humans, man. Like he's just not even fair, you know. He's too good at everything. That's my point. You know, there's a review, you know. But I would love to hear more about like if you have any counter points or something. I don't know.
I would say I have one question. I have a question for the listeners first, and then I do want to try to answer that question from Nalu.
A question of the day question, or
no? This is just to help me because I still don't know what episode you're talking about with this sort of like tug of war sort of thing, and him sort of like adjusting his strength and all that kind of stuff. I can't remember that episode. So if anyone can tell me what episode that is, I've been trying this whole time. I've been trying to figure out which episode that is, and I can't. Which is bothering me now. It's like an airworm. It's like it's itching at my brain, and I want to know what it is. So if anyone can tell me which episode is it that Anayakuji is actually trying to figure out, trying to adjust his strength and all that kind of stuff as you described it, Ray. I would like to know what episode that is so I can go back and rewatch it because I can't seem to remember that at all, and it makes me feel really off my game discussing it because it makes me feel like I've missed an episode or something. Or I fell asleep at some portion during a specific episode, which has happened before while watching the show. I have fallen asleep during episodes, not because it's boring, but because I'm watching the anime at last time. This is the last thing at night that I'm doing just before bed, and at that point in time I'm super tired. So it's like if I'm laying down right after a stream and I put on anime, trust me, I'm gonna fall asleep.
We got a question from chat, by the way, real quick. Name an anime, and maybe this is a pretty good question for like people who are listening in post, but name an anime that you actually hate because the main character or the MC. Oh, that's a hard one. That's a hard one for me, at least.
I kind of want to say Bleach, but I actually don't hate Ichiko. No, like I honestly, I kind of want to say Bleach. Like the reason I hate Bleach isn't because of Ichiko; it's because of the writing. So Ichiko is not really the reason I hate Bleach. The writing of his character makes me not like Bleach because of the fact, and I wouldn't even use the word hate. I'd say I dislike this other series because I think it's poor writing. I think he is an interesting character, and I think Bleach is an interesting concept. I think it was poorly handled, and I don't honestly really blame the author because of the fact that, as far as I'm aware, the mangaka didn't want to continue Bleach after the first act, if I'm correct. Unless, of course, if I'm wrong and misthinking this whole thing altogether.
You Bleach, you mean Yu Yu Hakusho 2.0? Sorry. Have you seen that one, by the way?
I have not seen Yu Yu Hakusho, by the way. I have never seen it. Never.
Was on TV back in the day.
My sister, like, I remember it on I remember the anime, and I remember my sister watching it on like DVD or whatever have you at some point or the other. But I just never watched it. Just never, like, at the time when I guess she was watching Yu Yu Hakusho, I was watching something else. It was some of the anime that I was interested in, and I didn't end up watching it. And that tended to happen quite a few times between my sister and I. Like, there's a lot of anime that she watched that I just didn't partake in. Maybe because I was just like, she doesn't have good taste.
I wish I had a sibling to watch anime with and then argue and say your anime is stinky poo poo. I never grew up with that, so.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm seeing Nalu's choice, which is Infinite Stratos.
Infinite Stratos. I've actually seen that anime. I don't remember what it was about. I think it's a mecha anime, right?
It is mech. I kind of remember liking that though for some reason.
I remember liking that as well.
I would have to bring up my anime list to see it, but for whatever reason, my anime list isn't loading at the moment. Like, I've been trying to load back into it, and the website is down. So maybe they have actually I don't know what's going on their website, but I can't seem to log in, so I can't see my actual rating I give for that anime. But yeah, I seem to remember liking that a lot, actually. There aren't a lot of anime that I can think of right now off the top of my head, I guess, where the main character actually just can't stand the main character, and for that reason I hated the series. But
yeah, same for me. I don't know anyone
off the top of my head. I think if I check my Manum list, I would know. I would be able to find, because I've rated them on Manum list, so I could basically check the rating and see which anime I give a 1 or a 2, and it's probably because the main character is shit and a couple other factors. So I would have to wait. It says they have an internal server error configuration going on Manum list, so I think there's something wrong with their website, and it happens to be down. You know, right. Let's hopefully they get it fixed and it's back up and running, and I can check my list and all that kind of good stuff.
MC just pissed me off.
Pardon me?
Now listen, the MC just pissed me off. Actually, to be fair, something I do not like with Cyberpunk is that, well, I rewatched it, right? I watched it twice, and I was mad at Maine. And I realized Lucy actually cared a lot more than I like. She saw the thing. I didn't register that she saw the information about David, and she really had to like protect him. And she did. And Becca and Rebecca, sorry, I'm calling her Becca every time, but Rebecca also did try her best to protect him, but he just wouldn't refuse. And his whole like, gotta do it for mom, gotta do it for Maine. That was his literal answer. I'm like, bro, but
he did annoy me. He straight up annoyed me as well. Like, I did not like the longer that series went on with him, I would say he's probably a character I didn't like the main for the main character, because I found him stupid. Like, his decision making that he started making as the series went on was just pissing me off, because I was just thinking to myself like he's basically going down the same route as Maine. He's making the same mistakes. He's not
he
sure.
saw it literally happen in front of him.
Exactly. And he's making the same exact choice to do the exact same thing that he did. And to me, that just kind of annoyed me. Like, I just felt to myself like he's an annoying character, instead of it being like, oh, I like his character, or, you know, he's flawed. I just said, in my mind, I was just like, he's annoying me. Or, you know, the more I see him, I'm just getting more and more annoyed by the decisions that he's making. And yeah,
no, just for me though, what they could, because they have to end the show, right? Like, and he doesn't exist in the show.
Yeah,
like,
in the game.
Yeah, in the game. Spoilers, I guess, maybe. Like, I haven't played the game myself, so yeah. But either way, apparently he doesn't exist in the game, and that means that he's either 1 in the moon in another city, or like 1 in the moon, 2 in another city, or 3 he dead. You know. And if they had to kill him off, what I think would have been better is that he would have slowed down on the like upgrades or the chrome or whatever he's getting. And I'm sorry I'm bringing up Cyberpunk so much, but that show really hit me in the feels, right in the like between my testicles, and it just went like an uppercut, you know. But what they could have done to make him actually still go cyber psychosis is that, you know how he jumped into that suit and then Becca was like, no, don't do it, and he was like, yeah, we're in deep shits, and then he was forced to go back into full chrome dome. I think that would have been better, like that last episode where he could have been like getting better, losing cyber psychosis, and then, you know, and still like doing like the odd jobs here and there and making money, and then still, you know, banging Lucy, and then they could have had a great life until the last episode where it would have been like this odd job that paid a lot, that maybe could have gotten them, you know, a lot more money, potentially maybe even enough money to go to the moon, which is a lot of money apparently, but maybe not that much, but, you know, that might like push them over the edge. They might take that job even though it was like high risk, and you know, he's there, and then when he jumps into the back of that truck and then he like takes the suit, and then it's like, well, we're in deep shit, we die, or you use the suit and you go cyber psychosis. So I think if they did it like that, maybe he would have been a better character. But I also agree with you, Q, that he doesn't like, he's not, or I should say, he's not hateable, but his issues could have been easily fixed, you know, to a degree.
Yeah, I mean, he's not written very likable. The more you watch him, he's not a very for me, I find him very unintelligible in that he's basically in a sense, I don't know if they're writing him in a way for him to be a sentimental character for you to feel sorry for or whatever, but I don't honestly just think of him as just like an idiot. Just watch the episode. I'm just like, yeah, he's an idiot. Like, you know, yeah. And I usually, for me personally, I just don't find idiot characters interesting. I do like intelligent characters. Like when it comes to anime, for me, an intelligent character wins out any day of the week. You know,
so you're saying your team Lucy over Team Becca, huh?
I don't even think you know, that is kind of. I mean,
Becca ain't smart though. That's why I like her. She ain't like trying to.
Becca's adorable, but I do like Becca over Lucy. But I mean, like, I just mean, like, in general speaking, like, maybe not a character that I waifu per se, but a character that I just enjoy seeing in a show. And I think in a sense, like, if Becca was doing, because the way in which I see it is like Becca wasn't doing dumb shit. Becca may not be intelligent in this sort of like books and smarts kind of way, but Becca wasn't doing dumb shit. Like, she was the one telling him to, like, okay, you need to, like, slow down and cut back, right? So that I wouldn't consider dumb, because she understood that, look, you keep doing this thing, you're gonna kill yourself, right?
Yeah.
So he, compared to her, I consider him an idiot. Now, book smart, he was more book smart than Becca because of the fact that, you know, like, he was in this rich school and he had and the only reason he was there was because he had good grades, right? He had good grades, so he was in that school. But was he intelligent? No, he's an idiot. You know? So, yeah, that's the.
So let's talk about Back to Classroom of the Elite, because for me, there's one let's say couple that I find very interesting. The couple that was fake, the fake couple, which I don't remember the names of them.
What fake couple?
The fake couple.
I think you've seen season 2. Like,
I haven't seen season 2.
I think you've seen the fake couple you're saying. What fake? This is the second thing you mentioned that I have not seen.
And Ayana Koji is like, all right, I'll be the white. I'll be. Sorry, no, I'm mixing him up with Sakura. But the girl who is like, she's together with a guy. I think the classroom, the leader of the classroom.
Yes, those two characters.
Yeah, and they're like being a fake couple to like get gains to be likable. They're like literally in episode 1.
What do you mean they're being a fake couple? As far as I know, they are a couple. What do you mean they're a fake couple?
Yes. How much did you sleep?
No. Like, someone please confirm this to me. Have you all watched episode 1 of Chainsaw Man yet? No, I haven't seen Chainsaw Man yet. Like, honestly. Exactly. Nalu says it. You're talking season 2. I knew it. There's no way I missed that. Like, 2 episodes.
That's not season 2.
Nalu says you're talking season 2. Nalu seems to be the expert on this. He's been watching this series for a while. Like, I mean, I'm no expert here, but I'm literally scrolling through the Wikia page of this anime, looking for all these things you're talking about. I'm not finding any of it. And I'm sure if I jump into season 2, it's there. I'm thinking you started season 2 without knowing that it was season 2. How many episodes did you see?
I've seen, I think it's 10 or 12 season 1.
Because there's 12 in season 1 exact. 12 to be exact. And then it starts from season 2. If you're mentioning from what you're mentioning, there's no mention, because during the whole season 1, there's no mention about them being a fake couple. So basically, like, how are they a fake couple if literally there's no mention of them being a fake couple? In the same way, like, that whole strengthen thing, that doesn't sound like it's in season 1, because, I mean...
It happens in season 2? Are you sure?
Exactly. Oh my god, you've spoiled season 2 for me. Mid-podcast. No, you just... I think you've seen season 2 and forgotten about it. Like, the whole...
No, I actually haven't.
Nalu, can you confirm if that whole... If they have a sports day in season 2 or season 1? Like, if they don't have a sports day in season 1... Then, as far as I'm concerned, you have seen season 2 and forgotten. I am good. As far as I'm concerned,
I need to rewatch season 2. I need to start watching season 2 or rewatch season 2 if I haven't seen it. If I have seen it already.
I'm not saying you need to rewatch it. I'm thinking like you've watched it already. Season 2 has 13 episodes. So season 1 has 12. So I've seen all 12 episodes of season 1. I'm literally like I did fall asleep during certain episodes, but I went back to those episodes to rewatch them, which is why it took me so much longer to like finish the series or whatever have you. But I would like to think I watched the whole series. Now, maybe if I missed something in one episode, there is a possibility of that. Missing something in more than one episode, nah. It's like I didn't miss that much. You know, it's 12 episodes. How hard is it to like keep track of what I've seen so far in those? So I do think that
my apologies. I actually don't remember watching season 2 at all. I remember watching it, or I remember watching season 1. I remember the ending of season 1 really well. I'm thinking, yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen after that season, but maybe I did watch season 2 and I just remember.
Possible.
Or maybe I like, you know, when like, you know how like those bars, they drop down and they just launch you in the like the next season or the most up-to-date season. Like, is there season 3 or is it like ended at season 2?
No, I think it ends at season 2. So from what I can see on Crunchyroll only seems to have so if I go and crash and delete, it has season 1 English dub, season 2 English dub. So it has season 1 and season 2. If there's a season 3, I am not aware of it. And even when you go to the Wikia page, the Wikia page only shows 2 seasons as well. So it says anime season 1, season 2. So
I'm just gonna be quiet for this podcast.
You can't tell the difference between season 1 and season 2. That's the problem.
Yeah, I can't actually tell the difference between. Mm-hmm.
I think I have an answer to Nalu's previous question though. Right now, there's an anime where I hated the main character and I hate the anime just in general, and that's Peach Girl. I can't stand Peach Girl. Like the anime is shit.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah, I watched that for another podcast, and I hated every moment of it. So yeah, Peach Girl. I watched 25 episodes of that, by the way, and suffered the whole way through. Season 3 has been confirmed, so there's a season 3 coming for Classroom of Elite, but
so it's not out yet.
It's not out yet. No.
That was. I do apologize. I actually literally probably don't remember me watching season 2. I remember pausing and then waiting for like the quote unquote cliffhanger because I just didn't like the anime, but I probably thought maybe I ate through it without the boys. And I watched everything by myself.
So, well, I mean, as I say, it's possible. It's possible that you.
Hey, look, I'll rewatch season 2 whenever we get on it, and then.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because again, like for me, it's like I'm enjoying it. I do intend to watch season 2 as well. Like I do tend to watch that. Do intend to watch that as well. For now, I enjoy what I've seen so far of the anime. Mm-hmm. I do enjoy what I've seen so far of the anime so far. I do like the characters involved. I am intrigued to see how the narrative progresses from here with each episode that's added to the series and with each character that's added and all that kind of stuff. I'm also keen to see like how the hierarchies change and to see the growth of certain characters. I want to say one thing though. I found it really kind of like, why is the one silk chocolatey complexion bloke in the show like just this sort of like
a bodyguard?
Not just a bodyguard, but he's just like a bitch to this other dude. Like he tells him what to do and he just does it. Kind of. I'm like, why is it that I kind of understand why? Like, and he speaks like the way in which his character speaks. He sounds very like, "Sup, dude," you know, kind of like he doesn't speak like the other characters speak, and it's like, why? It just
they
does
put
not.
A black character. This poor brother they put him in. He's a bitch boy, and then he just. Why does he look so damn more older and manlier than like all other? Like
he's very stereotyped. Is the best way I put his character. His character comes off very stereotyped. You know, like I guess what the Japanese depiction of a black character should look like. You know, or carry themselves like or whatever have you. Like it just does not. He just sort of sticks out like a sore thumb whenever he's on screen to me. It's like he does not fit. Just doesn't fit at all in the context of how this like the characterization of him. Because let's say, for example, he's in the school, he speaks like everyone else and all that kind of stuff. Because he's a student there, you know.
Yeah,
And
he does not act like a student at
he
all.
doesn't act like, he just acts like this kid's bodyguard and just does whatever he says for him to do. And it's like, why? Why is he doing that? Like, what's his purpose? Like, does this guy have something on him? You know, like, what is the whole, the gist of it all? Like, I don't know in the end what that whole thing is, but like, it's a bit of an like, it annoys me every now and then. It's kind of like when I see him, I kind of get like, you know. Right. So we'll see what happens as the series goes on and so forth, like that. As you know, what happens with the characters and all that kind of thing. But so far it is what it is. I am waiting to see what comes of the series as it goes along. I do like the kind of tactics that's happening between the characters or among the characters per se. So that's working within my interest level towards this particular series. I can't say that I have any questions, or which I guess I'll leave it to you. Do you have any questions about this series so far?
I was gonna ask who, me.
Well, you watched it before me.
Yeah, the thing is, I watched it. I didn't watch it that long ago as well. I watched it literally before we watched Cyberpunk. Like I think like maybe a week before we watched Cyberpunk. And I remember a lot of things, and I don't remember, like, for example, I don't remember if, like, for example, season 1 and season 2. Like, all I can say is with season 2, I guess it's so seamless that it pops into season 2 so seamlessly that, you know, like, you won't, you know how some anime, like, I'll talk about this actually a little bit, because you know how some anime basically you watch the first, I don't want to say too much, but Tokyo Ghoul is kind of like this, where one season is like one way and the next season kind of, like, without spoiling too much, goes like left field. And obviously not trying to spoil any Tokyo Ghoul here, because we might watch it at some point, or we might not, I'm not too sure. But I've only seen the first season. I watched one season of the second season, one episode of the second season, and that was just nuts. It literally stopped me. Like, and I know there are a few anime that are like, you know, season 2 is just way better, or like for example, like Fullmetal Alchemist, Brotherhood is just apparently just way more better than regular Fullmetal Alchemist, which also I haven't seen, but you know, even you said it, Q, that, you know, Fullmetal Alchemist probably the best anime out there, or at least that's what a lot of people have said. That's what a lot of people are saying. And for me, FMA, for example, I didn't like it. Like, the memories I have of it there's a lot of talking, and I just couldn't. I like Alphonse and Elric.
Alphonse and Edward. They're both Elric.
Yeah. Sorry, Alphonse and Edward Elric. I actually named a dog Elric as well, because I actually I like them as characters, but something with the show just felt too slow or too drawn out, and it was like, maybe because I was watching it on TV. But I don't know. I just couldn't get into it. I will definitely try to give it a watch at some point for the podcast. But out of my own interest, or maybe to see what the hype is all about. I've seen some scenes already, and I know some characters like Envy and certain characters like that. But who I really like, by the way. I really like Envy. Envy as a character is really cool, and I obviously know this character is a Chimera, for example. But I don't remember much of Fullmetal Alchemist, and like all my friends, even my Swedish friends, they're like, bro, Fullmetal, that's a shit, bro, that's a shit. I'm just like, you know, I'm sitting there like, it's like kind of like that whole, like, my friend who doesn't watch Game of Thrones, you know, or like the people who don't watch Game of Thrones because it's so high, but everyone just talks about it, and I'm just sitting there like hating my life because I didn't watch it, and I don't want to watch it because everyone else has watched it already. And I know you're like a bit like this, Q. I think everyone is kind of like this to some degree, right? Just, you don't want to watch it, and because everyone has watched it, you don't want to, like, you know. We need to do an episode on JJK, by the way. That's one of my favorite anime ever. So
JJK. Jujutsu Kaisen. Yeah, that's a series that I started. I haven't finished. Okay. I need to go back to, like, I think I've only seen like 2, like maybe 3 episodes in there, if so much. The one thing I would say though is that it's it is very important that we all understand that not every anime is for every type of person. So, for example,
For sure.
there are anime that some people like. Like, for example, the aforementioned Peach Girl that I mentioned before is an anime that my co-host on the podcast I did that with, where I covered romantic anime. She wholeheartedly loved Peach Girl. Right, so to her, Peach Girl is like peak anime, but I hated Peach Girl with a passion.
You also like romantic anime as well.
I like romantic anime, but I didn't like Peach Girl specifically.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Okay,
and so in the same way, like, for example, not just because everybody likes Fullmetal Alchemist, but because maybe it's like for me, I like it. I don't mind. I like that Fullmetal Alchemist is slow and it takes its time to build and grow and develop the characters and all that kind of stuff. That's what I enjoy in an anime. But that doesn't mean it's the same thing that other people like. In the same way that two people may like JRPGs, but one person may enjoy the grinding in it, with another person may enjoy just watching the story and learning about the characters, essentially. Mm-hmm. So that's the only thing I would say. It's just like
me and you. It's like I like, but the thing is, I actually like long stories, and I like story build up, and I like stories. Like, I probably would love One Piece because of how long it is, because of my nature, for example. But for me, it's just to start it, It's like doing it's like doing drugs or some shit.
Wow.
Like you just need to start and then you're hooked, But I haven't and I watched a lot of it. I watched the whole I watched up to I think Crocodile or Flamingo, and I'm just like, oh, it's just it was okay. Like I want to segue into that. Well, what did we do last week, or we were bringing up last week that we were gonna do for this week, which was the personality.
Oh, the personality test. We do need to get it. We do need to think that. So yeah, we do need to check that personality test. I haven't actually read mine fully. Like I got the results and I didn't read the whole bloody thing. So
right, okay.
Because I remember sending it to you. I sent it to you and then I just never read it. I never read the rest of it. So yeah, we do need to do that personality test as well.
We did them on the same well, at least the one you sent me, we both did, because yours was, I don't know if you want to talk about it, but yours was one character and mine was on the same character, and then I realized we did it because you sent it to me, so we did it on the same websites, but that was just one that
was one of the tests that we did, because there were multiple ones that we could have done, and that was just a single one that we did and was like, okay, this is the result we got from it. So we could try some of the others to see what we get. Can't believe One Piece is still going. One Piece is still going because it's the writer has a good story to tell. I think that's good. I think when you have a story to tell and it's it's well written. Like, for example, Classroom of the Elites is, I think, a well written story so far, and I would hope that the writer, whoever writes this story, is capable of maintaining a sort of engaging plot throughout.
Wait, did the writer of One Piece pass away?
No. What do you mean he passed away? Oda is alive. Like, what kind of you try to create a riot? No. He gets sick a lot though.
Oh boy.
Let me just Google just in case. You can. Like, if something would have happened to Oda and One Piece never finished, like, wow. We don't call these things, knock on wood, we don't call things like this on Ichiri Oda. Like, no, man, this guy is, I'm not even superstitious like that, but not for my boy Ichiri Oda. Like, he needs to live as long as until he finishes One Piece, my guy needs to survive. Like, he just needs to,
it's like your kid. It's like they're both like falling off a cliff. It's like your kid or like Oda, you're just like sweating and like trying to decide.
The thing is, there have been some some anime series where the author died before finishing the series, and it always just sucks. It's like, I was enjoying this and now I can't get any more of it. It sucks. So yeah. Can't believe that. So basically, Classroom of the Elite, I would say it's one of those well written ones, character wise and so forth. I do like that it's dubbed in English. I don't know if anyone watches it in sub, but I do enjoy the English dub of it. I like the voices, the characters song, good.
Sorry, in Classroom of the Elite, right?
Yeah, Classroom of the Elite. Yeah.
Right.
The characters do sound good. I'm happy with the way the characters sound. I've obviously watched the entire anime in dub. I have no intention to watch the sub at the moment. I think
I feel like we're both dubbers at this point.
Pretty much. I think especially with this anime being an anime with so much exposition, I feel like I'll miss so much watching this in sub, because I'll have to rewatch scenes like 3-4 times just to notice certain things. Because then I'll have to watch it once just for reading the text and catching up, and then I have to watch the second time for seeing what the characters are doing. And then probably a third time just to put it all together.
For the waifus, for the cheeks.
Okay, the fourth time for the waifus.
The fourth time, damn, bro.
The fourth time for the waifus.
First time for the waifus for me. Second time for understanding what they're talking about. I bet you look fine. You can keep talking.
Yeah, I think if I watch it something like this that's so weirdy, I think I want to know what's going on first. I think my brain is going to be like, especially this is an intelligent series. This is nice. I will admit the fan service is really nice. Especially during the mandatory beach episode. That was
the mandatory. Every anime
has to have that. If your anime doesn't have a beach episode, it's not an anime.
You're stinky. Yeah, your anime is stinky.
Yeah, you just have to put it in the bin. It's not good enough.
Yeah.
It needs to have
0 out of 10. Wouldn't do it. Wouldn't recommend.
It needs to have one. It just needs to have a beach episode.
I agree with you on that. Like how wordy this anime is and how big brain you need to like. It would be way too much reading, and then sometimes it's like the subs, they don't like fully incorporate the feeling. At least when I watch it in dub, I can feel like the big braininess. I don't know, it's weird because reading the big braininess is like, or the slang, or even like something like, again with like Cyberpunk with like main, like his like or like their actually all of the Cyberpunk characters, their whole what you doing, chum, like hearing that in Japanese. I'm not saying that Cyberpunk sucks in Japanese, but I see what you're saying. See what you're saying.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that tells you that this is the type of anime it is those sort of like philosophical quotes at the beginning of each episode that they have. That really does sell it. It's like, yeah, you know what type of anime this is already. Like this is what you're signing up for if you're going to be watching this. And it works. It works really, really well. So yeah, in general, I think that's mainly what I want. All I can think of for the anime. I can't think of anything else because from the way in which I look at the episodes I remember it started off with the classroom stuff. Then the boy in the class being accused of a crime. So I think the first 2 episodes or so, first 2 or 3 episodes is it goes through essentially the whole monetary system in the school and how it works and all that kind of stuff. Then there's the boy accused of getting into a fight and almost being expelled, and so they have that whole court sort of thing build up. During that, I actually thought the girl Sakura actually liked him. That was originally what I thought it was, but it turns out she didn't like him at all in the slightest. She just happened to be there doing her own thing. So
let's talk about Sakura a little bit, because I actually wanted to ask you about her. I was scared to bring up like, is she in fucking apparently season 2? Like, how do you feel about her as like as a character? Or like, how much do you know about her already?
Well, obviously from season 1 they show up to her that she's like an online model. Essentially, like she posts. Yeah. She basically an OnlyFans girl, So she.
That's what I thought, right? I wanted to like double check with you because if you had to ask me, I would say I'm not too sure, but she is like an OnlyFans kind of, and she's shy as well.
She is shy, but she does like Anaya Koji though. She does like him.
She does like him. Okay.
She straight up likes the main character because on the island, when they're trapped on the island, she only wants to go with him. And there's a scene where on the boat where she's practicing like asking him to be his girlfriend, and then he comes up behind her and she's like, "What did you just? Did you hear anything of the last thing I said?" And he says, "No."
Oh, he's like, "No, nothing at all." Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Which
I want to ask.
I assume he heard. Mm-hmm.
Okay, 2 things. Do you think Ayano Koji actually likes anyone at all, or you think he's like he's pushing his PP is just still like limp?
I don't
like he needs the Lazarus device to fucking resurrect that shit.
I don't think he likes any of the female characters really, but does he find them attractive? Possibly.
Would you ship them? Would you ship any character with them as well?
I would ship him with Shizune.
Susan, okay.
But I think he considers Shizune to be an idiot essentially compared to him. Like he doesn't think she's smart at all. Like he's.
What if someone is as smart as him? You think then he might be like?
I think he'll feel threatened.
Oh.
I think based on his depiction so far, I think if there's a character more intelligent than him, his arrogance won't let him allow for that. Like I believe he'll feel threatened by something like that. And I think you see that more so in the way in which he reacted to the teacher telling him that, look, you're gonna get kicked out, and how he snapped, because he wasn't gonna have things his way. The way in which he wanted to do things and work things out, like being told like, hey, either you do what I tell you to do or you're gonna get kicked out, kind of thing. I think if anyone came in and was smarter than him, he would probably snap. I don't think he would take it lightly. I think he'd either try to get rid of them, something or the other. I don't see him as one that appreciates others' intelligence. So
okay. I thought he would be more like oh, she's smart like me. All right, she'll make her fine. She'll be okay. Not even fine. She'll be okay.
I don't see him being that modest, that accepted. I get the feeling that he's got that arrogance to him with regards to his the way in which he wants to do things. He believes himself to be the smartest person around. He doesn't see anyone, especially like his closing statement at the end of it. I don't see any of you in Class D as like my friends or in that. What you guys are just pawns, and someone who sees people around them in that sort of sense, like they're all just pawns in his plan. He sees himself as above them, essentially. For anyone to be on his level, he's going. For me, I see that he's going to feel threatened and want to be basically go at them, essentially, rather than him being sort of like accepting of them. And you do see like when characters who are like intelligent characters are around him, like for example, choosing his brother, like he's not very welcoming towards that character. Whereas the student council president was like, hey, do you want to join the student council? And he's like, nah, I'm good. Like I'll see you on the flip side. Like we'll see how he.
Nah, that's the council. Nah, that sounds like extra work for a bunch of betas.
To him, he probably sees them as like, hey, I'm smarter than you guys. Like, no matter what you guys are thinking, I'm already a couple steps ahead of you. Season 2, you'll meet her, but nothing truly clicks yet. Are you talking about it? I think Nalu's talking about a girlfriend character towards him. Well, I guess we'll see who this character is. But I do like Shizunu for him. I think Shizunu is a nice character. I think her getting over her whole like wanted to do everything on her own thing. That would help her make her, I guess.
But would you ship them? Like
I would ship them.
You want them to be shipped though.
I would ship them, yeah.
Because I think he's a piece of shit, and I don't want like like if Suzuki was my friend or my sister or some shit, I'd be like, oh for hell, I don't give a fuck if he's the smartest dude on the planet, bro.
That's where I think he has to develop as well. Because as far as I'm concerned, everyone in there has a flow. And I think
you think he's gonna start getting feels for people like some season down the line, or are you?
I don't know. I honestly,
there's not me spoiling anything because I know.
I honestly can't say if that would happen per se. Possibly not. The thing for me is that I wish I could tell you something about Anayakoji. Yeah, keep it in Nalu. I will inevitably watch season 2, and once I have, we can always like briefly bring it up in the podcast again and talk about it once both Rhea and I have seen season 2. That is, I kind of feel like we'll watch season 2 over the weekend or something. Maybe I may just put it on and watch it.
Yeah, we'll watch season.
Definitely with a watch and all that kind of stuff. It's good stuff. It's good stuff indeed. Other than that, is there anything else that we should discuss with regards to this to these characters, Percy? Anything else you're going to bring up about the anime?
See, I'm scared to bring up anything because I'm not sure. I didn't even know I watched season 2, so I'm not even sure what to bring up. Maybe on the safe side. I won't bring up too much. No, I don't. There was something with soccer I wanted to bring up again, but yeah, nothing that I can really think about.
Nothing you can think about it, but something regarding Sakura. Okay. I did.
And this is not me spoiling anything, by the way. If that sounds like a spoiler, it's not, like, straight up. I unintentionally spoiled what I said.
Oh, I don't doubt that you did unintentionally spoil it. I don't think you were like knowingly trying to spoil anything. So don't worry about that. But yeah, I think to be frank with me, I think I've said everything I want to say about it. Like, I don't have any other input with regards to the anime, unless of course if I'm responding to a question related to season 1, I'd probably be able to elaborate some more about a particular point. As it stands right now, I do think I've rated season 1 already, and is a 10 for me to masterpiece as far as I'm concerned. 10 out of 10 on my anime list. So it's a great anime.
You rated that?
I've rated the entire season is a 10 out of 10 for me as far as I'm concerned.
Interesting.
So season 1, 10 out of 10. I'm looking forward to seeing what season 2 is. I think it's just an intelligent watch. I could actually see myself watching this with a chibi or whatever have you, because of the fact that I do find it's quite intelligible as well. Like I just find it to be that kind of anime. So finger crossed, we'll see what season 2 has to offer, and then whatever that potential season 3 is. So yeah, that out of the way. How about we get to this quiz thing? How about we get to
let's talk that out.
Let's start that out. Okay, so you want to go first?
Yeah. So you sent me this website. Should we say what? Like, I'll just mention them, I guess. I don't know if it's relevant,
yeah. You can mention the name of the website, definitely.
Yeah. So the link that you gave me was the one from BuzzFeed, and like it was like which the quiz is which anime main character are you? I'm not even sure if that's like an actual main character, or like one of, like, let's say could have been Zoro, for example. But long story short, I got Luffy, which I find funny because the questionnaire goes into like what you like to eat, what you like to like what kind of like weapons you like, and for example with the weapons question, like for example, I like 3 of the choices that they gave. They gave like I think 8 choices or maybe 10, and one of them was like great sword, and I was like, ooh, I was like sweating, and it's like or punching, and I was like rubbing my forehead, like, damn, I love punching people. Like nothing feels better than literally just beating someone with your bare hands, like anime style. And then I'm just like, we don't do violence in real life, right? Anyways, and then the third option was dual swords, and I'm like, fuck, like I really love one big great sword or 2 great swords. But I really like, like I love characters. I've never seen Berserk, but I really love Guts' design as a, like, I would like to hold a big sword and, cut motherfuckers down, right? Mm-hmm. But I did not actually choose the punching one. So I was like, like, I didn't even think about Luffy, like, thinking about this. I actually thought about just, like, any character that fights with their fist, like Naruto or whoever, and I didn't even notice that it was going to be about, main characters, so I just read it right now. But either way, I got Luffy. I haven't seen One Piece a lot, much of One Piece. I know, like, I know a few of Luffy's attacks. I know, like, Jet Bazooka, Cannon, is it Pistol, which is like the super fast one, and Gatling gun, which I think is I don't know which one it is, but he does it in the game as well, and he basically just like layers you with just layers with punches, like he did to that. I'm not going to spoil it then, but he does it to another character, obviously. But he punches the hell out of one dude, and it's just like a barrage of punches, and just how Luffy is as a character. And I just thought, I never saw myself as Luffy. I always thought I would be more like the edgy fucking like Zoro character, or like or maybe like Naruto maybe, but not Luffy. I didn't actually see Luffy at all being my character. But I also hate, like, I love the sea, but I love swimming. I hate boats, but me being from the Caribbean, just like Q's from Trinidad and Tobago as well. I was like, I would expect, I could see myself being a pirate. If I was born in a different timeline, maybe, or some shit, that would be kind of, would go down the pirate route, knowing how my personality is. But the freedom of it all, and moving away from society and then making my own rules. But the whole elastic power, I think, is one of the most interesting powers you can have. Like, sure, you have like busted powers like controlling time, shooting fireballs, and all that other good stuff. But being elastic, like Luffy could literally be like a grandpa, and because he's elastic, he'll always look like a 16-year-old, So like there's that. So you're not aging and looking like some. Maybe he will get like droopy, like more droopy than even an old person. Who knows? But elasticity is a great freaking power. I really like it. I like that dude from Fantastic Four, like him, like
Mr. Fantastic.
Mr. Fantastic, yeah. And I think overall, I really have to say, I think Luffy as a character is really great. Like he is really like he's like a team player, you know, and he gets sad about like, you know, and I won't say anything much, but he gets sad when some things happen to his teammates, and I actually do love punching people. So I think this fits me really well. I also love eating, so you know, sadly I'm getting chubby and not just stretching it out like Luffy does, you know. But yeah, he's a cool character, cool abilities as well. 10 out of 10. Would rate Luffy. And you?
Okay.
What about you? Who did you get?
I got a character. I knew nothing about, to be honest. His name is
Really?
Makoto Negi. And this is a character from Danganronpa.
Right.
So I have Danganronpa is an anime and a game series. It's a puzzle game series. I have never played Danganronpa before. Like, I think I own a Danganronpa game, but have I played it? No, I don't think I've played a Danganronpa game before. So yeah, typical Q. But what it says about his character, basically, I basically had to go to Wikipedia to figure out what the frack is up with this guy. And it goes into basically Makoto proclaims himself to be a very ordinary person to the point that he seems quite insecure about it. He does admit to having one distinguishing feature, and that being a unique sense of optimism. Makoto is very kind, supportive, and forgiving, though slightly naive at times. He is friendly and polite, and a lot more down to it compared to the other students. These qualities could be the reason he seems to be successful in approaching and befriending even the most unsocial classmates during free time. It goes on with Junko refers to Makoto as a herbivore man. Okay, which means that he is likely to be the passive one in a relationship, which is reinforced in some conversations with others. He's a bit jumpy at times and can be somewhat of a pushover. Despite these meek qualities, however, he is capable of being very determined and a charismatic speaker. Makoto is a firm believer in hope, having a positive attitude about the future, no matter how bad the situation is in the present. He's also a pacifist, as he tends to believe that violence isn't the answer. While he dislikes despair, believes it to be a corruption and negative emotion which cannot benefit the world. He is very forgiving towards those who have fallen to despair, believing them to be victims of Junko, not inherently evil. It appears that the only person Makoto genuinely dislikes is Junko. Okay. I'm assuming Junko is like the bad guy in this series. But to go on even further, apparently he's the character that survives this whole ordeal, the whole yeah, I think he survived.
Wait, so the plot of Danganronpa is that it's like it's like a survival kind of like puzzle.
It is a survival thing.
Anime?
It's a survival thing. I think it's like you get trapped in a place and you have to survive or something, and people are being killed and you have to figure out who the killer is or something like that. I can't remember the full details of it, but it goes on to say Junko has.
Interesting. Sounds like something
I think it's something you might actually like, definitely. It goes on to say that Makoto's got a talent for ultimate luck. He's the ultimate lucky student, winning the lottery out of completely ordinary students, and that he survived. All right, so essentially, yay. I still don't get how this character reflects me. To the extent.
Pacifist. I see that in you.
Yeah, I'm not much of. I don't really get into fights that often. I'm very. Yeah, I guess you can consider me a bit of a pacifist. But
I mean, yeah, everyone when they're pushed and shoved, you know, they will.
I'll snap at some point, but it takes a while for me to snap. Essentially, I'm very. Yeah. I can take a lot. Essentially. But yeah, that's the character that they gave me. Maybe
are you happy with it, or were you like, because you didn't know who he was?
I am to be honest, I can't say if I'm happy or if I'm not. I'm sort of just like, I don't know. Like I'm like, yeah. This quiz was taken on BuzzFeed, by the way. BuzzFeed has an anime quiz, So that's where we took this quiz on their website, unfortunately, BuzzFeed community. I don't think it was a very, robust anime personality thing, but it got the job done for the most part. We can maybe we can do one each episode. So maybe next episode we'll do one of the others, because we basically picked out about 4 or 5 of these. So on the next episode we can just do another one and just see which character we get next for the next one.
Maybe I get Luffy again.
Maybe you get Luffy again. Who knows? But I mean, hey, I'm not mad at the character.
Fun. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it would be fun too as well. To like it just be a sort of like an interesting sort of like thing that we do in the episodes.
Exactly.
Hey Karen, what's going on, bud? Yeah. So let me see if there's any other questions that we can respond to before. The boat trip to the desert island. What are your thoughts on the trip? Any thoughts on the trip, Ray?
That they just like left, like they just like them as a class just leaving and then going out and then being on that quote unquote desert island, which I would say is a very terrible. They should have just called it an island, because I didn't see any sand and I saw a lot of freaking trees. So firstly, my biggest gripe about it, that ain't no desert island. That's like a regular ass looking island, okay? Firstly. Secondly, well, I guess that answers my whole, which I was obviously faking because I already knew what happened, but if they were allowed to leave the school or not. I'm guessing that answer. I don't know if you remember from the previous episode, but I did ask that, like, you think they're allowed to leave? Like, I was just throwing that up in the air for you to see if you could speculate.
What do you mean if I think they're allowed to lead and
leave leave the school grounds? Because you remember we asked
I don't think they are. I think you're supposed to stay in undergrounds of the school. I think that's the whole gist of it. You stay undergrounds of the school, and that's about it.
Because technically the island isn't, it might be owned by the school, maybe. I guess maybe.
The island is owned by the school, yeah.
Okay.
So they did go to the island from, I guess they got it on the boat from the school and then sailed over to this island, this deserted island. And I think it being a deserted island doesn't mean that it has to have sand. I think it's more or less that it's empty and no one lives there. I think that's what it refers to.
I was a desert island. That's like when I that's what I understood. But I think that's what they said. But anyways, I think it's cool though. I actually think that whole plot, like the whole theme. Like they were just like in like the backyard of the school or some shit. They actually like went out of their way. They showed the boat. Like, if you want to talk about the boat, I think the boat looked really good, because I've been on an ocean liner before, and or a few of them actually, like from Norway to Sweden, for example, and even to England as well. I actually took a boat to England one time from Sweden, and like that one, they did it artistically, like the glass panes, like on the like the metal, and then it's like glass metal, so you could see the ocean better, but you're still safe because you're behind like metal or glass. I think that was really well done. Like the view of the island when they were on top and they were all like, that whole scene I think was like the overall, like them being on the boat was really nice, and I had no idea what to expect, but I definitely knew that they weren't gonna just go on and have some jolly old grand time, and no one ain't gonna like there's gonna be some fuckery going on, and that's what we got. So I'm happy. Whatever when there's tomfoolery going on, I'm all down for it. Especially if there's like betrayals and top 10 anime fights, whatever. Like I'm always top 10 anime betrayals. Right, that's the meme. I'm always down for that stuff. I think it was great. As an episode. Honestly, I don't really remember the beach episode. If we had a beach episode, I actually don't even remember that much, to be honest of it.
The beach episode was the one where they had volleyball by the pool, where the boys were trying to peep on the girl. That was essentially the quintessential beach episode, but they weren't on the beach. But that's kind of what they did for beach episode.
The bikini episode. We should just call them the bikini episode, even though most people call them the beach episode. I guess the pool side is still the quintessential. Yes, as you're saying.
The quintessential beach episode. I would say with regards to the island, I liked the island, and I found it to be an intriguing mix-up for the school. I like the fact that they're surviving, and I did enjoy that character in their class who he just knew everything about survival stuff. But I did like the concept of the whole survival thing. I've always, like, whenever I watch anime and I see characters having to like rough it out, and I always think to myself like, oh, that'd be interesting to try. But then I realized I don't actually like bugs and being out in the wilderness and shit like that, and I like being in the house. So like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. But
I would be like the blonde guy, just swinging from tree to tree, like straight up. I dig it, but I wouldn't be a cock and just like leave my classmates like that. I think that was terrible.
I would probably be one of the guys looking for that cave. Like, I would want a cave as my base where I have like a certain segment, a certain place where it's like blocked off from the elements. So even if something came at me, I've got like protection in that sense. Like you have to enter from one way, and if I have someone,
bears live in caves, right?
I actually thought about it as well. Like bears do live in caves, but I would want to check to see if I could so like hole up in a cave essentially, and who knows, maybe there are no bears there.
If you now there's not many bears on islands, but if you were in that situation, how would you deal with it? Because you don't like insects and stuff. Would you have a good time? Would you try and find like fun in being on the island, or would you be like, oh, this is the worst. This is dreadful. This is awful. Oh God, bugs! I'm gonna eat my mosquitoes and my. I
think one of the things about me is that I'm very adaptable to things. So like, I think if I'm in the situation, I'll just have to suck it up. You know, like there have been times where I've been in situations with things like for example, my dad's side of my family is very. Like they live in the countryside and they're very like down to earth in that sense. And I've gone hiking with them before in the woods and, you know, essentially had to like rough it and figure it out myself. Would I go on my own accord? No, but if I'm in the element, like if I'm in that situation, I'd probably be fine, essentially.
So you're not looking to take the family on any camping trips anytime soon?
Hell no. Okay. Like if I go camping, for me, I need an RV. Yeah, I need an RV. Right, I'm not sleeping on the ground as far as I'm concerned. That's where, like, if I'm in a tent or something, you know, like a fox comes and tries to attack us, or a bear, or I don't know if there are bears in the UK, but yeah, I would prefer an RV where I can just lock the door and I'd be safe in there, even if anything tries to come in. So yeah, I've actually always wanted an RV. Actually, like you know those mobile homes.
Yeah.
The modern ones where you can like the ones that people build, like they buy a truck or a bus or something and they convert it into something. I always thought that'd be so cool to have, you know. But yeah, that's a long way away if ever I do something like that. But yeah, do like the island episode. Thought it was good. It was a really good episode for the characters, and we got to see a lot more about it. If Fox wouldn't attack though. Well, I don't know about Fox's Daniel Westman. I would hope not. You know, I like living too much. But you never know in the wilderness. You know, you never know what could come around. The snake, you know, or whatever have you, while I'm sleeping in the middle of the night, coming to eat me. Foxes are one of the most scared animals. Are they now? Ooh la la. Yeah. Well, yeah, I have never met a fox before. I'm making a wild guess, but thank you for informing me about such things, good sir. Yeah. So we've basically we've answered the question Alu put out about the whole island thing, I guess. Yeah, I thought it was a good episode, and it did allow us to meet more of the characters and see how they operate in different elements, you know. I think I'd be fine on an island if I'm in the element, but outside of that, I think I wouldn't choose to do it. Like just be on a desert island, roughing it out. Nope, probably wouldn't choose it at all. Especially mosquitoes do like me. They tend to bite me a lot, so wouldn't help. It wouldn't help at all. I'd be swollen in the morning. So yeah. Any further questions anyone else wants to ask about the anime? Snakes though, that's a different story. Exactly. Snakes are horrible. They'll attack me and then I'll die. I live in too much, so no. Any other further questions before?
I have no gripes on snakes at all, to be honest.
Not afraid of them?
Animal. No, I'm not afraid of most animals.
Yeah.
Probably bad that I'm not
scared, nope. But, it just means that you probably have a lot more experience with them. You know, that's all.
It could be that as well.
Yeah. I have not much experience with snakes or most of the animals because I've pretty much grew up as a city boy, you know. I've learned the city guy ways, so I don't really have much of a affinity towards such creatures, essentially. Yeah, I think that's it then. Because I don't have anything else to add to the anime. I don't want to just buff out our time with nothing really, essentially. And so yeah, I think that's all I have to add to it. Unless of course if you have something more, I think that is it for me.
I think we're good.
And Classroom Elite.
I again, I don't want to say too much because I feel like I've already kind of.
And we could always come back to it in the future.
Yeah.
So that is a possibility. We can come back because with season 2, we definitely want to probably come back and have a discussion about it and so forth. When can
our viewers expect a season 2 podcast?
I think wait, definitely not next week. So I think for those of you who want to see a season 2, feel free to leave a comment and let us know you want to see us talk about season 2 of Classroom of the Elite, and we will make it happen at some point. The more of you that express interest in it, the sooner we do the season 2, I guess. For now, the next episode, I think we do something different. And I think
Chainsaw Man. Are we still going with the?
I think we could do episode 1 of Chainsaw Man for the next episode. I think that's perfectly fine. So we can hop on.
One on 2 because I think
is episode 2 out already?
I think it would be out by then. I haven't checked myself or seen.
Well, if it's out by the time before next Sunday, then yeah. If it's out before Sunday, then good. If it's not out before Sunday, then it won't work. Essentially, we wouldn't be able to do it. But if it's out before Sunday, then yeah, let's do it. Let's definitely do that thing. So yeah, Chainsaw Man will be the next episode. And you guys can look forward to it on Sunday. Sunday, same time, same place. You'll find the podcast, which is at 8 p.m. UK time. So just think about your time zone on Sunday.
9 p.m. Swedish time or GMT 2+2. So if you don't know what it is in your time zone, just search 9 p.m. GMT +2.
Google time converter and just chuck our times and then you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. So the next episode will be on Sunday. So you guys come by, check it out. Mm-hmm. And then the episode after that will be on Wednesday again. So we can have another conversation about more anime stuff. And feel free again to leave a comment. As you can see, the poll, 100% of you guys voted on the poll saying that you do like Classroom of the Elite. So that's good to know that we have a cast of people who enjoy this anime. Not as many questions as this week though, because again, I can't think of any questions with regards to Classroom of the Elite going forward. I'm not sure if that's possibly because of the fact that I've been going all day. Like I haven't stopped moving since morning. And my brain may potentially be shutting down on me. But that being said, I kid you not, I've literally just got up in the morning, did an early morning podcast, spent the whole morning recording, proofreading a script, then recording the audio for it, then, doing family stuff, then Parents' Day, then literally coming back to watch the anime, and then straight into here. So, I haven't stopped moving. As well as cooking lunch and all that in between and all that, blah, blah, blah. So it could be my brain's just shutting down at this particular point in time. Unfortunately.
They don't want to hear about our life, bro. They want to hear about waifus and stuff. And top 10 anime betrayals.
For those who want to hear about waifus, feel free to follow LP Guardian on YouTube, which is LPGRDIAN on YouTube. There is a waifu tier list video coming. Literally, that's what I was recording this morning was a waifu tier list video. One that was asked for by a lot of the viewers. So yeah, I don't answer the poll because I haven't seen it yet. That's perfectly fine, Daniel Westman. We will have more polls in the future. So definitely feel free to answer on a future poll, but that's perfectly fine. Just make sure you're subscribed, every one of you who are here, so that you don't miss the next episode and you're here for when we put up the next one. As for those of you who are keen on hearing my waifu opinions and all that kind of stuff, you can easily check out LP Guardian, where all my beautiful waifu opinions will be in a Tale of Dreams video, which, again, the next one is what I was working on today. So I'm due to edit it still. I've just recorded the audio, so now I have to edit that audio, and I am not looking forward to it, but I'm going to have to do it. So maybe I take a nap and I get up and I do that again tonight or whatever have you, because I have no podcast in the morning, but I do have a stream tomorrow afternoon. So yeah, let's see how it is.
Busy.
Right. So with that, Ray, how about we get out of here? How about we say bye to these people? You know, la di da.
Let's get off the island and head back to civilization. Right?
Definitely.
Right?
Thank you very much, everyone who showed up to the podcast. It's a pleasure to have you guys here join us with us. Those of you who are live and those who watch in post as well, thank you very much for being here with us and joining us on this journey. We look forward to seeing you guys in the future, and hope you guys enjoy this episode. If you enjoyed it, again, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, all that kind of good stuff. Share the podcast with other people, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
See you.